Listening Practice Test. ZIM Academic English School. This recording is copyright. Test 1. You will hear a number of different recordings and you'll have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions and you will have a chance to check your work. All recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now, turn to Section 1. Section 1. You will hear a conversation between an insurance claims handler and someone who wants to make a claim. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 3. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recordings a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 3.
Good afternoon. This is Chanfanelli Insurance. My name's Dunny and I'm an insurance claims handler. How may I help you?
I took out insurance with your company when I shipped my stuff from Skellige back here to Toussaint, and there's a bit of a problem, unfortunately. A lot of my things are broken and I'm pretty sure all the damage occurred during the shipping, so I'm calling to make a claim.
I'm sorry to hear that. First, let me get some of your details and I'll see what we can do about it. Can you give me your full name, please?
Yes, my name's Cyrilla Fiona. It's Fionna.
Okay, Miss Fiona. Now I need your contact details. First of all, your phone number, please.
Hang on a second. I've got it written down here somewhere. It's 0432. Oh no, sorry. I can't even read my own handwriting. It's 0423 683 7996.
996. Okay, great. How about your current address?
Current address? You mean the one in Toussaint?
Yes.
It's 50A Beauclair Drive.
Sorry, I didn't really catch that. What was the street name again?
Beauclair. It's spelt Beauclair.
Okay, got it. So now we need to know the company which did all the packing and shipping of your belongings.
I don't exactly remember the full name, but it has something to do with EA. EA Marine something or other?
Is it EA Marine Merchants?
Yes, that's it.
Alright. Now, Miss Fiona, do you happen to remember the date on which your belongings arrived?
Just let me check the shipment form they gave me. It says the shipment arrived here on the 16th of August. Oh no, sorry, that's when it left. The shipment got here on the 26th.
Okay, now that you've got the form with you, can you see a small code in the bottom right-hand corner? A 7-digit code that contains 2 or 3 letters, followed by some numbers.
I think I've got it here. It's the shipment code, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Can you read it to me, please? We need that for reference.
Sure. It's GTX 1060.
Thank you.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 4 to 10. Now listen carefully and answer questions 4 to 10.
Okay, Miss Fiona. Now, could you please describe for me as accurately as possible what damage was done to your items?
Yes. Well, there are 4 things in total, and I'm really quite frustrated about it because they were all very important to me. The first one is a computer keyboard that I've recently bought, and the problem is that many of the keycaps were dislodged and are nowhere to be found. Currently, I have to use another keyboard, but it's just temporary. I think I'll need a new set to replace the broken ones.
I see. Any idea how much it would cost?
The set I'm using was specifically designed for me, so it probably won't be cheap. I had to spend about $40 for the whole thing.
Okay, got that. What's next?
My violin, which was a gift from my mum, is now almost unrecognisable. Firstly, the fingerboard has completely detached. I guess it must be really hot in the container, so the glue must have melted or something. Anyway, I can fix that myself. But there's also a huge crack in the body near the adjusters. The sound is now completely ruined. I swear if I can get my hands on those who did this.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Miss Fiona, but please stay calm. I assume that will need to be completely replaced. You said it was a gift from your mum, so do you know how much it cost?
Judging by the brand, the material and the sound quality, I'm pretty sure it's worth about $180 at the very least.
I see. Right, so how about the third item?
It's a travel suitcase. It's very durable, so I really don't understand how on earth it could have gotten so damaged. The front wheels are broken, and I think it would cost about $30 to replace them, from what I have read on the website of the shop where I bought it.
Alright, anything else?
The last thing is my electric pressure cooker. Everything looked fine when I got it back, but when I plugged it in, I couldn't turn on the control panel. There must be something wrong with the electrical circuit. I think it needs to be replaced.
And do you know how much it would be?
I really have no idea. I haven't been in this situation before. The cooker itself costs $70 though.
I see. Is that everything?
Yes. So what do I have to do next?
That's the end of section 1. Now turn to section 2. Section 2. You will hear an advertisement of a new hotel on TV. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 15. Now listen and answer questions 11 to 15. And now on to what's new. If you're planning on taking your family to Telford this summer vacation, I'm very glad to announce that a brand new luxury hotel has just been newly opened in this town. Yes, that's right, I'm talking about the Kinney Hotel. It's quite easy to locate this hotel on the map, as it's only around 100 metres from the city library and about 2 kilometres from the airport. Right after the hotel opened, a popular tourism website gave it a 4-star rating based on the quality of services, facilities and several other things. And don't worry about the price, since the management have just announced that all customers staying during the summer season will be rewarded with a 30% discount. So this is definitely a chance not to miss if you want to enjoy your summer vacation with your loved ones in a luxury facility at a very affordable price. The hotel offers a wide range of rooms, from the budget-friendly standard rooms to the high-class luxury suites. But if you really want to enjoy your holiday to the fullest, why don't you try out the Royal Suite, which is our deluxe room and comes with a full range of services. Although this is our most expensive room, I'm certain that the experience will be well worth it. There's also a new restaurant located on the ground floor of the hotel. This 4-star restaurant offers a very diverse menu with dishes ranging from Chinese to Italian cuisine. However, I strongly recommend that you try the unique Norwegian specialties, which is the main focus of the restaurant. During your visit, you can also take part in a number of outdoor activities taking place around the hotel, And for those of you who prefer to exercise indoors, don't worry, as the hotel is equipped with a modern fitness centre located on the 15th floor. This fitness centre will provide you with the latest facilities and personal trainers to maximise your fitness training needs. Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 16 to 20. Now, listen and answer questions 16 to 20. Now I'm going to give you some further information about what's available on each floor of the hotel. So let's start with the ground floor. When you enter the hotel through the main entrance, the first thing you see is the reception area. The first floor is also the location of the hotel's art gallery, where they exhibit some very rare pictures from the 18th and 19th centuries. To access the gallery, go straight past the reception area and enter through the second door on your right, near the elevator. If you need a place to relax while on the ground floor, there's a bench to the left of the entrance where you can sit and look at the beautiful fountain, which was built from the finest materials. You can easily see the fountain here. It's the circular area in the center of the floor, very close to the reception. As I've already mentioned, there is a wonderful restaurant in the hotel, which is located in the left-hand corner of the floor near the fountain. You can also enter the restaurant through a separate entrance at the front of the building to the left of the main entrance. The hotel also bakes its own selection of breads daily in its very own bakery. You can find the bakery directly opposite the restaurant entrance inside the hotel. The bakery and the restaurant will be open from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And right next to the bakery, you will find a bar where you can chill out and enjoy a drink with your friends. Now, let's move on to the first floor. That's the end of section 2. Now turn to section 3. Section 3. You will hear two students, Christian and Philippa, discussing about their presentation of the life and work of blind scientists. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Now listen and answer questions 21 to 26.
I have to be honest, Philippa. At first, when you told me you wanted to focus on the work of blind scientists for our presentation, I thought you'd gone mad. I didn't even know the thing they use in elevators for blind people was called Braille. But when I started to look into things, I realised this is a very fascinating subject. It really amazed me how Louis Braille and other scientists were able to overcome their hardships and do things that literally changed the world.
I know, right? My great-grandmother Helen was also blind, so from the stories I've heard from my mum, I do understand the struggle people with visual impairment have to live with. Anyway, please tell me that you've done your part. You know, the one about Louis Braille's childhood?
Of course I have. I think we now need to summarise the information that we found and write it all out in bullet points. And you should definitely take notes. You know how bad my handwriting is.
Right, so, as far as I know, Braille was born in Couvray, France. Is that right?
Yes. He was born in 1809 in quite an affluent family. His father owned a leather-making business, and he spent most of his time as a boy playing in his father's workshop. But sadly, that's also where he had an accident that injured his eyes when he was only 3 years old. And due to the lack of medical care at the time, the resulting infection caused him to lose his vision.
And then what happened?
Well, despite his disability, Braille excelled in his early education and soon impressed the local teachers with his sharp mind and admirable diligence. Just 12 years after the tragic accident, he won a scholarship to the Royal Institute for Blind Youth, where he came across a reading system for blind students invented by Valentin, what was his name again?
Valentin Hui? He was the Royal Institute's founder, and for my part, I've looked into the main drawbacks of Valentin's system. To start with, all the books that were written based on his method were very heavy, and the process of making them was also very time-consuming. On top of that, these books could only be used for several weeks because they were extremely fragile. In addition, the system addressed only part of the blind students' communication dilemma, the ability to read. For full literacy, students also needed to be able to write.
I see. Well, Valentin wasn't actually blind himself, so he wasn't able to truly understand the struggle that visually impaired students have to face. That probably explains all the drawbacks of his method.
Exactly, and Louis Braille saw these limitations right away. Then, in 1921, Captain Charles Barbier visited the Royal Institute to demonstrate another technique called night writing, the technique on which Braille eventually based his system on.
Oh, I know this one. Barbier invented this method to help soldiers send messages in the dark during wartime.
Yeah, that's right. Barbier's system used 36 rectangular cells to illustrate sounds instead of alphabet letters. Braille soon identified two major disadvantages of the code. Firstly, by representing only sounds, the code was unable to render the orthography of the words. Secondly, the human finger could not move rapidly from one symbol to another. The captain's code turned out to be too complex to use, but it inspired Braille to develop a system of his own.
And what exactly did he modify to complete his own system?
Braille simplified Barbier's night writing system to maximize its efficiency. He made uniform columns for each letter and reduced the 12 raised dots to 6. This allowed for 63 possible combinations of dots, enough for all 26 letters of the Roman alphabet. And this method does not only enable users to read by touching the cells, but also makes writing possible simply by punching dots into paper from right to left.
Amazing. And how much time did it take him to fine-tune his system?
Well, Braille worked tirelessly on his idea, and his system was mostly completed by 1824, when he was only 15 years old. Finally, in 1829, he published the system, although unfortunately the system was not widely used during Braille's lifetime. It did not become the official communication system for blind people in France until 1854, 2 years after he died.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
Right, so as we have already discussed in the last part of our presentation, we will mention notable achievements of some other blind inventors. The first one that I found interesting was the case of Dr. James Gale. He invented a unique way of manufacturing, storing, and transporting gunpowder, which would have made it very effective during warfare.
And that contributed substantially to the success of many battles and wars fought by his country. I also found some articles about Dr. William Moon, the man responsible for inventing the Moon system, a unique reading technique for the blind which was based on Roman capitals. In fact, the Moon system was once considered to be one of the most popular reading systems for the blind, and its popularity was only eclipsed by the widespread use of the Braille system. It is still widely used today and is commonly taught to visually impaired learners who find it difficult to understand the Braille system.
And don't forget about Ralph Teeter. He invented a speed controlling function known as cruise control that is commonly used in cars nowadays. This device allows vehicles to automatically maintain a set speed in order to save fuel and make driving a more convenient and safer experience.
Talking about vehicles, I think we should also include the case of Mohammed Abadaya. He is one of Saudi Arabia's most prominent engineers and has more than 20 patents and inventions to his name. But probably the most popular creation of his is the submarine that can go 5,265 meters below sea level. This invention paved the way for so many discoveries of marine life forms, as well as the potential threats that sea creatures are currently facing.
Brilliant. I still can't believe these scientific breakthroughs were made by people who can't see a thing.
That's the end of section 3. Now turn to section 4. Section 4. You will hear a lecture about 3 famous works of art. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now, listen and answer questions 31 to 40. Good afternoon. I'm Tony Brook, and in today's lecture, I'm going to give you some very intriguing facts surrounding 3 famous pieces of artwork. The world of art is never a dull topic, and the more we learn about great art and its creators, the more mysteries we uncover. And, unfortunately, very often the only people who know the truth about many of these mysteries have taken their secrets with them to the grave. Now, let's start with the first mystery, the lightning strikes twice. So, when restoring a masterpiece by Robert Reed, an early 20th century American impressionist, art conservator Barry Bowman was amazed to find that Reed had concealed another painting under the one to be restored. This hidden painting, named In the Garden, portrayed a young woman seated at a table outdoors who was reading while having tea in the afternoon. Many artists will paint over an existing piece, but Reed had stretched this second painting over the first finished one. No one could figure out why Reed did that, and unfortunately he's not alive to tell us. What we do know about Reed is that he was a gambler who died before the first part of the Depression, and he was always struggling financially. Art experts speculate that he may not have liked his first painting, so he tried to save money on supplies. Or it may have been an easier way to ship or store paintings. Another interesting case is that of the 300-year-old statue of Jesus, named Christ of Patience, in a small town in Mexico, which was accidentally discovered to have real human teeth with roots. No one knows where the teeth came from. In a religious tradition from earlier times, it was common for people to donate human body parts to their churches. Human hair or teeth carved from animal bones frequently adorn statues, but up until now, no one had ever seen human teeth in a statue. Created in the 17th or 18th century, this statue was in the process of being restored when X-rays revealed human teeth in surprisingly good shape. It's unclear if the teeth came from a living or dead person, or maybe even more than one person. It's also possible that the teeth were forcibly extracted from someone and donated against their will. Even more strange, the statue's mouth is almost completely closed, so the teeth aren't visible unless you deliberately look inside. So why use a set of teeth in such good condition? There's really no way to determine who the donor was. Nevertheless, without removing the teeth, researchers still want to determine the age and gender of the donor. And I believe that the last case will probably be the most surprising. You all know about Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa painting, right? Well, many people think that there's only one Mona Lisa, the famous painting at the Louvre in Paris. However, a second Mona Lisa sits in the Prado Museum in Madrid that may have been painted by Da Vinci or one of his students simultaneously with the first. This second painting has a slightly different perspective, which can create a 3D effect when viewed with the original Mona Lisa. In another surprising discovery, there's also a third Mona Lisa known as the Isleworth Mona Lisa, which is believed to have been painted about a decade earlier than the other two. The Isleworth Mona Lisa seems to be painted when Da Vinci was alive, but that doesn't mean he painted it. One of his students may have created this version. Also, most of Da Vinci's paintings were done on wood. The Isleworth Mona Lisa was painted on canvas. So, was Da Vinci experimenting with a different technique, or was there another creator? If Da Vinci did produce this version, which many experts believe, then why did he paint Mona Lisa more than once? Among the experts, there's continued controversy about these paintings which will never likely resolve. But the Isleworth Mona Lisa is in almost perfect condition, which raises the question of whether it's truly 500 years old. According to at least one expert, it seems unlikely that a painting could have survived so well for so long. That's the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check your answers. That's the end of the listening test. In the IELTS test, you will now